This is the second part of my October 2022 savings account update because I want to focus here on prize draws, including premium bonds, because there's been a rate increase there. Plus we've got new ones from Chip and also ones to tell you about with Natwest. Let's start with premium bonds because I know it's really popular with all of you. My videos have premium bonds have done fantastically well because you like the idea of them. You like the idea that your money potentially could win you £1 million. And last year in 2021, the rate there wasn't fantastic, but it was better than you were going to get in other easy access accounts. For most this year, that hasn't been the case. The prize rate that you'll get from premium bonds has not been competing with those increased rates that you're seeing from the easy access accounts. And my video from yesterday, do check that out if you haven't already, it takes you through how you can get now up to 5% on some of your money in easy access. Well, to respond to this, National Savings and Investments, the government or kind of organisation that runs premium bonds, has increased the prize rate for the second time. They increased it to 1.4% in early summer, and from the October draw onwards, the one that's going to take place at the time of recording this any day now, to 2.2%. So that's a significant increase, 2.2% prize draw. But let's rewind a little bit, shall we, and just remind ourselves what premium bonds are and how they work. Because a prize rate is not an interest rate. It's your chance of winning. Now, since a premium bond costs £25, that's the minimum you can have. So it costs £1, but the minimum you can have is £25, and the minimum prize is 25 quid. It means that for every single person, everyone that wins, every single individual bond that wins a prize, there are 24 that don't. And there are a lot of premium bonds out there, a huge amount. And even with this increased prize rate, which means there are more prizes and more higher prizes as well, you're still not guaranteed to win. In fact, the way they tend to work is the more you have, the more entries you have in the draw, therefore the better chance you've got of winning something. And broadly, even if you have the full £50,000 worth of premium bonds, that's the maximum you can have in there, the best you're going to get will be close to that 2.2%. Maybe you're lucky and you do better. In my experiment from last year, I beat the then 1%. I actually beat that. I got more than what the prize rate was. So I did quite well, but a lot of people will do worse than that. And if you have less than that full 50K, keep dropping it down, then your chance of getting close to 2.2% decrease even more. And in fact, we haven't worked out the figures for this just yet for this new rate. But I wouldn't be surprised if you have less than 5K, less than 4K, you probably won't get anything at all. So they're completely not worth it. But even if you have more than that, even if you're getting, let's say you're getting 1.5%, let's say you're getting 2%. If you watched my video I mentioned yesterday, you can now get 2.35% on total easy access, no restrictions on your money there at all. And you can get up to 5% on up to 5 grand. The maths don't add up. Unless you really think, you know what, I want to take a punt on this, I want to give it a go, see what happens, I might get lucky, I wouldn't do it. I still wouldn't go to premium bonds, back to premium bonds. And this is from someone who had them for a long time and was really enjoying it. So what's the harm in doing it? If I put one in there, it's like a lottery ticket where I'm still not going to lose my money. I still keep my money. Because of the amount of money I would have got put in an easy access account was negligible. Now it's getting more significant. That money that I'll earn for it will make a difference to my spending power and my saving power. Of course, there is the benefit with premium bonds that they are tax-free. The winnings you get are tax-free. So for some people that might be of interest. I did a video, when was it? Last month sometime, looking at the implications of increased interest rates on your personal savings allowance, which is basically how much interest you can earn every year before you are charged tax on it. With the rates go up, there's a good chance you might get closer to your personal savings allowance. So you might be then interested in premium bonds from that perspective. Now, the other prize draw I want to tell you about is from Chip. Chip is a savings app. I've spoken about it quite a lot here on the channel. Sometimes I've been a massive fan, other times I've not been so keen. But the general principle behind it originally was that it was an auto savings app. So it would automatically save for you. And that feature is still there. Although, as I mentioned in my savings update last month, the beginning of September, there are some extra charges coming in which make that less appealing. However, what Chip have now introduced is a prize draw. They're calling this the prize savings account. And you can win every month either £10 or £10,000. Now, there's only one £10,000 prize. and there are only 250 £10 prizes. So this is nothing compared to the scale of prizes with premium bonds. But of course, there will be less people entering this competition. So from that point of view, you might actually have a better chance of getting a tenner here than you have got 25 on premium bonds. It's difficult to say because they haven't been given any odds, because there's no sort of sense of how much money will be in there, at least for the first draw that they're doing. To enter the draw, you have to have at least £100 in this savings account. That's the minimum. Anything less than that, you don't get any entries at all. But for every time, if you have 100 quid or more than 100 quid, every tenner gives you an entry. So if you have £100, that's 10 entries. If you have £1,000, then you have got 100 entries, and so on. Now, again, as you probably guessed from what I was talking about there with the premium bonds, I don't think this is really worth it as an ongoing savings account. I wouldn't put my money in there all the time when I could be getting guaranteed money elsewhere. However, the terms and conditions of this draw state that you only have to have the money in by 11:59 p.m. on the last day of the month. So obviously you've missed it for September, but you could do this in October. Any money that's in the account at that time, that counts towards how many entries you have in the draw. Now the draw will then take place within 7 days of the start of the month. The money does not have to stay in there until the draw takes place, according to the terms and conditions. So you could, in theory, put money in on the last day of the month, and then at the start of the month, withdraw the money. The only restriction you're going to have there is that it can take 3 working days for the money to be added. So that might limit when you can actually get the cash out. You might have to wait for that. And if you do it for, say, put the money in on a Friday, well, then you won't be able to get the money out necessarily until the following Wednesday. But even so, a limited amount of time that money is in the account. Before and after that, put it in the highest paying interest accounts elsewhere to get the interest, and maybe you will win some money from these prize draws with Chip. The one thing to be aware of is that in the terms and conditions, I sort of went through them, there is one thing that says they basically reserve the right that if they think someone is gaming the competition or not being sportsmanlike, then they can refuse to give you the money. So if you win the 10K and they see that you put the money in and take it out, put the money in and take it out, that's what you're doing every single month, then they might not want to give it to you. But for a couple of days, worth giving it a try. I've tried it at the end of September. I'll let you know in my update next month if I managed to win anything, if I had any sort of complications that came along. I've got a full analysis of this account actually over on becleveryourcash.com, so make sure you do check that one out. And incidentally, I should have said this when it comes to premium bonds. If you do want to put your money into premium bonds at this new rate of 2.2%, you have to put the money in a month before the next draw. So don't put any money in early October. Wait until the end of October to put your money in, because then it will be eligible for the draw at the start of December. Put the money in now, it's the same draw at the start of December, so you may as well wait until the end of the month to put it in. And there's one other prize draw to tell you about, and this is a very, very simple one to do. This is from Natwest. If you turn on roundups with their current account, you will be entered into a prize draw of worth £1,000. There are 10 of these prize draws available, 10 of these 1 grands available. You don't actually have to make a roundup. A roundup, if you're not sure about this, is where every time you spend money, it automatically tops up the remainder. So let's pay £1.30, 30p will be put into your rounded up into a separate savings account. That doesn't have to happen. You literally just have to turn it on with your account. And if you do that, you're entered into the draw. You've got to do this before the 3rd of November. So if you have a NatWest current account, go and turn it on. There is no harm doing it. Now, incidentally, that roundup can be added to the NatWest Digital Regular Saver, which pays 5.12% now. I spoke about that in the video yesterday. And that roundup money is on top of the monthly £150 limit. So potentially, that means you could put more in there with these roundups than you would if you've already used up that full 150 quid monthly allowance for that regular saver. So worth having that a look at that, turn it on, you've got nothing to lose. Remember, interest rates on savings accounts change all the time. On a daily basis, we're seeing multiple movement on all these different accounts, and make sure you do check out over here, becleveryourcash.com/savings. That is where you get information on the things I've spoken about today and on any changes that happen. Okay, that is the link you need to know. My name's Andy Webb. Thank you so much for watching. Check out these videos right here for more on your savings.